like that.
A lot of you listening may know about the legend of Forsyth County in 1912 and how 1,100 residents, black residents, were ran out of the county after 2 women were raped. But let me tell you about Oscarville, Georgia. Oscarville, Georgia was a town that was mainly black owned. Most of the residents that were ran out of Forsyth County, they took residence in Oscarville, Georgia. Now, Oscarville, Georgia was where the supposed rape of the white woman, May Crow, went down by what was described as 4 black teenagers.
According to various accounts, 18-year-old May Crow is walking alone in the woods when she's struck repeatedly with a rock, reportedly sexually assaulted and left for dead.
She was hit so hard that her eye was dislodged from her skull and left hanging.
She's always kind of sent her.
Debbie Vermont is May Crow's grandniece. She keeps a portrait of her in her living room.
My grandmother always said that she was known to be the prettiest girl in Forsyth County.
Word of the attack spread quickly. Suspicion soon fell on a group of young African Americans. Local media condemned them, describing the trio as, quote, the fiendish, low-browed, gorilla-type Negroes. Enraged by the news, a mob immediately lynched one man.
You believe that some of your distant relatives took part in this lynching?
Yes, some of them I am fairly sure they did. These were the most aggrieved and grieving, who wanted justice for what had happened to their loved one.
2 others, both teenagers, were arrested, tried, and convicted. A prominent doctor volunteered land near his home for the court-ordered execution. An estimated 5,000 people showed up to watch the hangings.
Well, my grandmother would have been 18 months old, sitting in her mother's lap.
Watching someone being lynched?
Right.
So do you believe that those 3 people, the 2 teenagers, the one young man in his 20s, do you believe they were innocent?
I do believe they were innocent. I do believe. And I believe it's a huge cold case that's still sitting there to try to figure out exactly who did.
Now, this particular town had houses, stores, barns, probably churches, and a racetrack. The location of the town is now located under the popular Lake Lanier. If you look up Oscarville, Georgia, in your Google search, it will pull up Lake Lanier. Now, we already know that Lake Lanier is a man-made lake that was made to make sure that Georgia was always replenished with water. It was dammed up and it was flooded. But let me give you a little bit more information about it. As they started to run out these 1,100 residents of Oscarville, what they didn't tell you was that some of the residents actually decided to stay and not get ran out of town by this white militia. The ones that did decide to stay hid and camped out in different wooded areas of the Oscarville area.
11 people have died in drowning or boating accidents on Lake Lanier this year, including a father and son. Charged with responding to all of those calls are divers with the local fire department.
11 Alive's Caitlin Ross shows you what they deal with under the surface of Lake Lanier. It's dangerous and deadly environment.
You get yourself in trouble really quickly.
Lanier was built in the 1950s to provide drinking water and hydroelectric power for Atlanta. Recreation was an afterthought.
As they were building the lake, they raised the water level up to a certain point well below what we know of today as full pool, and then stopped filling the water.
From there, construction crews floated on the lake, cutting off the trees about halfway.
So today, those stumps are still there, and they're tall because this was forest land and farmland.
Also beneath the surface, old homes, barns, even a racetrack, which famously surfaced during the 2007 drought. You could see the tops of the stands, a haunted memory, waiting for spectators to show up for the next race.
They blew the old bridges in place, so you have concrete, rebar.
The divers work in teams, one person in the water and the other on the shore. They're tethered together by a rope and communicate by tugs on the rope. Divers say they never know what they're going to find.
So now, when you go to Lake Lanier, if you were to dive under Lake Lanier, you would find a barn, houses, probably even churches, a bridge, and a racetrack. This is the history that Georgia has been hiding from us for so many years, and now it's starting to come out. So please be careful going for a swim in Lake Lanier, because there is a doomed history up under that lake. And as the woman had already said, 11 people have died this year, and many people have died since the lake was dammed up and flooded. If y'all would like me to do more stories like this, please share this story with people that you know will be interested in it. And also make sure that you come back and tune into my Facebook timeline, as I will be dropping more historical things just like this. Until next time, y'all.
And to which you owe your life and your identity, has not in its whole system of reality evolved any place for you. It comes as a great shock around the age of 5 or 6 or 7 to discover the flag to which you have pledged allegiance along with everybody else has not pledged allegiance to you. It comes as a great shock to discover that Gary Cooper killing off the Indians when you were rooting for Gary Cooper, that the Indians were you. When I was growing up, I was taught in American history books that Africa had no history, and neither did I. That I was a savage, about whom the less said the better, who had been saved by Europe and brought to America. And of course, I believed it. I didn't have much choice. Those were the only books there were. I am stating very seriously, and this is not an overstatement, that I picked the cotton, and I carried its market, and I built the railroads under someone else's whip for nothing. For nothing. If one has got to prove one's title to the land, isn't 400 years enough? 400 years, at least 3 wars. The American soil is full of the corpses of my ancestors. Why is my freedom or my citizenship or my right to live there, how is it conceivably a question now? What we are not facing is the results of what we've done. What one begs the American people to do for all our sakes is simply to accept our history until the moment comes when we, the Americans, we, the American people, we are trying to forge a new identity for which we need each other. Until this moment, there is scarcely any hope for the American dream, because the people who are denied participation in it, by their very presence, will wreck it.
So do you think that Afro descendants are really aware of their African roots?
I think that we are aware of the roots, but we are in denial of the roots. Okay? This is why black women spend billions of dollars on perm, weave, blonde hair, green eyes, blue eyes. This is why educated black men, I don't care if they live in Paris, I don't care if they're in Austria, Holland, UK, Canada, US, or South Africa. Educated black men marry outside of their race more than the men of any other race put together because you hate yourself. And the reason why we do this is we actually think we can convince white people if we act white enough to accept us, because we don't understand white supremacy and we don't understand eugenics. Eugenics is the science of exterminating the African DNA. It don't matter if you're light skinned with green eyes, you still African. It don't matter if you're blue, black, purple with nappy hair, you still African. It don't matter if you in Paris speaking French or the US speaking English. At the end of the day, you carry the gene of Africa. And that gene of Africa is the most powerful DNA on earth. We are the only people who can reproduce ourselves in every other group. I can make a baby with a Chinese woman, it's an African baby. I can make a baby with a French woman, it's an African baby. An Arab, an East Indian, a Native American, it's an African baby. You understand? The white man cannot reproduce himself in any other woman but one who looks like him, because he's genetically recessive. I'm genetically dominant, and that's why he must eliminate me. Because in the natural order of things, if I do absolutely nothing, we can literally predict the date where he will no longer exist. So he has to make a decision. He either has to get rid of me first before nature gets rid of him.
So speaking about this, what is your feeling about interracial marriage?
I don't support it.
Why?
I have nothing against white women or Chinese women or Arab women or East Indian women, but the black man belongs with the black woman. The first institution that has to be built is the black family. If you don't save that, you save nothing else. If you don't build that, you build nothing else. A white woman can't understand my struggle. A Chinese woman can't understand my struggle. And what black men fail to recognize, even when you marry white or Arab or Chinese or East Indian or Latino, that woman is still loyal to her race. So it doesn't matter if she had your baby. It doesn't matter if y'all got married. It doesn't matter if y'all sleeping with each other. At the end of the day, her loyalty is not to her husband. It is to her community. And at any moment that that community calls on her to do a job, she will do it. So even though you're laying on top of her, she's still in charge of you.
Oh, man. Dr. Umar.
Say that.
Sean, I think you still mute yourself, Sean. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
All right. How y'all doing tonight?
What's up? What's up? You know,
Hey.
you speaking, you can't even speak in my language today. I mean, you know,
Shuck it, duck it.
we gonna have a hell of a show.
Yes.
Yeah, well, we got the subjects before we get to Orange Crush is our last hour. We're going to 8 o'clock. We're going to Orange Crush, and we're going to examine Orange Crush. I got a video I'm going to show for that particular one, also about 3 or 4. And then we're going to go into Orange Crush. But for right now, we showed 2 videos, and both of those videos were quite interesting. The Oscarville one, where they buried what they call in Atlanta now Lake Lanier. It used to be a city under that lake, and it was a black city, and some things happened if you were paying attention. If not, go back and watch it later on. Some things happened where they killed 3 or 4 black guys who were said to have raped this white teenager, and they buried the whole city under the water and made it a dam. That's called Lake Lanier in Atlanta now. So y'all go back and watch that and look up the history of Oscarville, Georgia. And it's a quite interesting story. And then we had brother name just now was speaking.
Umar Johnson.
No, before that. Man. I'll get in a second. But we had the video where he was telling about how we were set. James Baldwin. James Baldwin. Come on now, were y'all paying attention? You know?
Yes. I was listening to the words. I didn't need his name.
Okay, the great Charlie Brown is coming on also. So we'll be able, I don't know whether how much of this he watched, but we'll have him on in a second too. I see Ms. Brown getting it ready for him.
Wait until after she get it all the way ready.
Huh?
I said wait until after she get it all the way ready.
Yeah, she's getting it ready for him now.
Hello, boys. Hello.
So yeah, but we are gonna talk about the first one, Oscarville. You know, and though it was never proven, you know, used to have code on the street back then. And with code on the street, it was whatever they wanted to have, whatever they wanted to say about whether a person was guilty or not. And that's just the way that they carried it back then. There you go, Mr. Brown. Looks a little fuzzy today. And but they held court on the streets. And what's so shocking is that, you know, I got this book, Without Sanctuary. This is an interesting book right here. Without Sanctuary. We're going to examine this book one day. It's a real book on what they did to us back then. And anybody wonder why we complain so much, just read this book. Anybody actually wonder why we walk so much?
Hold the book up one more time, please.
What's the name of the author?
People focus on this book. It's so important.
It's Without Sanctuary. You know, Without Sanctuary. It's by Richard.
Real bad. I don't know why.
Richard Lacato. I think it's about 2 white guys. 2 white guys wrote the book, from my understanding. It's a great read. Even though to have you discussed it, it'll have you wanting to fight. It'll have you really wanting to hurt somebody. James Allen, Hilton Alls, John Lewis, and Leon White. They're the authors that are noted here, and John Lewis gives the forward on it. But it's a book.
John Lewis.
John Lewis. And So it's a book you want to read. Then my wife just picked up a book. She said that she was in the store and she saw one, and she'll be giving me that book. And she was in there damn near in tears.
Can you turn it up some?
Looking at it or reading it. She was darn near in tears reading the book. So it's some cruel and inhumane things that were done to us. And we don't, it ain't about revenge, it's about leveling the playing field with everything that we do and everything that we fight for every day. And that's what it's all about. But Charlie, we showed 2 videos first. I don't know whether you were watching the videos on your way into the studio. But the first video was of Oscarville, Georgia. I know you've heard of Oscarville. You probably old enough to have been around back then.
Probably so. Age is so important, and you should respect your
Right.
seniors, and you'll have good luck. That's all I like to say.
Yeah, I'm gonna respect you and Sean, both of y'all.
Can I say this? And again, I want to say, hello, boys and ladies. How are you? I am so happy that we are back on regular format. Things happen sometime, and just to show you, when you put your heart into things, it happens. But they don't stop us, okay? We are Black Media Network, and we're going to do the best we can to continue to do what we do. So it's good to see you guys. Sean, you look wonderful. That red does you a lot of good. Sonia,
Thank you.
how have you been? I know you got a new house. I'm very happy for you.
Thank you.
As soon as I come to Texas and live for about a month, you'll be glad to sell that house so I can leave along with the property. Julius, as always, it's a wonderful looking black shirt you got on. I don't know exactly where you stole it from, but it is a good looking shirt. And the viewing audience, please share. Tell everyone we're back on regular format. We need you, because if you don't exist, we don't exist. So please share. And I just want to let you know, if you need to put on your sunglasses, what they call blockers, because my hair is shining for some reason. I've been trying to tone it down, but it hadn't been coming down. But again, we just happy to be back with you, and I'm lost for words.
That you never lost for words.
No, you give a whole lot.
Good.
See, you told him to speak.
I thought you, Fannie Lou Hamer, I thought you and I was allies. We tried to work together.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so Oscarville, Charlie, was the city in what they call Lake Lanier now.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very, when they go out on outings, it's a family lake now, and so many people drown there because they say that they just buried the town. They didn't tear nothing down. The churches are still under that water. The houses, the branches from the trees, everything was still under there. They said,
It's the
and that's what a lot of people get caught up on.
The ancestors saying, "Don't trample on us," and that's the ancestors are reaching out and saying, "You're on sacred ground. You're on holy ground," far as they're concerned. And I can see their point. We as people have a tendency not respect that, because if and it was a black community, and people don't care. You should care. Yeah.
Well, and the moral of the story is that we get tried for things sometimes that we don't do. Even with us being off the air for 30 days, it was something that I didn't do. It was something that we didn't do. It was something that somebody hacked the page. They went in, they created 4 new pages, took me out as the admin, and then started posting all kind of Islamic jihadist stuff. And they should have known it wasn't us, but they didn't answer our appeal, and they just punished us for 30 days. And then I found out the day that somebody charged $2,098 worth of ads. Wow. 2 other fake accounts that got me in a lesser role and got them with the authority to do everything on my page. They're still in there while Facebook is investigating it right now. They're on right now. They could cut us off right now if they want to, but I don't think they're listening. They do this to everybody, and they got into our system somehow. And just so happened, I was nervous, right, Charlie? I'm all nervous. I said, "Oh man, they finna charge me $2,000."
Wow,
$2,098. And when I go through it, and I finally find that the cards that they're using to charge, they're not my cards.
Wow.
But they're in my account. They're in my account, but they're not my cards. I've seen the cards. One of them a MasterCard. I don't even own the MasterCard. And they charge $2,098. So I think Facebook has been trying to get the money, and so they suspended my business account.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's just crazy. But we're moving on. But what I said all that to say, sometimes you get charged for things that you didn't do.
Certainly, I understand that.
Yeah, and that's what happened in Oscarville, Georgia. They couldn't prove that those guys did anything to that young lady. What they did was they found the first 4 black guys they could, and they hung and killed them. and that was tragic.
That's the way it used to be. And I've heard the terminology, you can't get one, just get another, because they all look alike. And that's sad. And that went on really rapid. And that's a perfect example. They say we can't find 4, you happen to be at the wrong place at the wrong time, and you get caught up in it. And a lot of guys and women have went to jail for being at the wrong place at the wrong time. Yeah. I've seen it happen. I mean, and the person be telling the truth, and you guilty because they choose to make you guilty.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, don't forget, we got Orange Crush coming up at 8:00. Y'all just stay up. We're going to be discussing a couple other topics until then. But Orange Crush is coming up. We had some other things that we're going to discuss, and I know Sandra and Uncle Sean wanted to talk on these wrongful shootings. Sandra, go ahead.
What can I interject? The fact that white women have always been the detriment of black men. From being wrongfully charged for rapes. Emmett Till is in his grave right now, and this 80-some-year-old white woman is living her best life.
She's still living?
Yeah, she's still living. Even though, they wrote the Emmett Till anti-lynching bill, but that anti-lynching bill isn't even, it's just a sham. It wasn't even strong enough to get her put in jail, So it's just a shame. But yet and still, I'm just put off by the fact that, we get these watered down bills, or we don't get bills at all, because George Floyd bill has still yet to be signed. They done forgot about him. And now, the Jewish people have a whole campaign going on about Jewish hate. I don't ever believe that we've had any type of campaigns on TV talking about black hate or the way our lives should matter. So, just keep record that in the last 4 years that Biden has been president, the Asians have gotten a bill without marching, and the Jewish people have a whole campaign now on TV. You know, they've gotten everything. I mean, they've gotten reparations, they've gotten everything, but we still, I mean,
fighting not to get choked in the damn street. I got you.
Exactly. I mean, our children still, if they get pulled over, they still getting shot in the back. So, you know, I'm just disgusted. And, you know, Dr. Umar Johnson, shout outs to him with, you know, he's going to have his school opening up at the beginning of next year in Delaware for Black young men. And it's been a hard 9-year struggle for him.
The Marcus Garvey School, correct? The Marcus Garvey, yeah.
There's a school right now in North Carolina on it's a old elementary school in North Carolina. It's on the government auction site. They only want like $240,000 for it. But it's like a school and got a field and all that other stuff attached. And like literally these young ball players and stuff like that want to give back, or the old ball players even, you know, it's a way to give back. It's a way not to, you know what I'm saying?
They're not giving nothing. They don't want to give nothing. It just ain't set up for them to. It's set up for them to give, but they don't want to give anything because they're too busy worrying about their own lives and partying every day and buying champagne and cars and
or it's probably something in the contract that says anything that causes a distraction from your athletic.
We can't say there are LeBron James.
Yes,
it's a perfect example. He does have school and he has some incentive program. And matter of fact, he's sending I don't know how many kids to college.
Spurs guy, San Antonio Spurs, David Robinson. He got a school in San Antonio too.
So there are some that doing it, but it's not being as publicized as it should be, so others can follow suit. But again, you have to start somewhere, and they'll plant the seed already, and we can't just leave it up to just the athletes. We as citizens, we as elderly of the community, we need to figure out we can pull together and do something as well. And again, they do maybe have the mass amount of money, but we can pull together a lot of people and have a lot of money too and do some things, but we got to work together.
Yeah.
Well,
right.
To whom much is given, much is expected. And they're giving a lot and they don't give back a lot. It's all about me in this world. Is even worse, as y'all will see later on. These kids these days, if y'all saw the picture with the video going around with the young girl fighting the teacher over her cell phone, that little young girl, there is nobody in the world nobody can defend what she did. Nobody. That teacher should have whipped her ass down. There's nobody that can defend that. Not her mama, not her daddy, not nobody. That little girl was out of control, and they think that they are grown these days. And she was 12, 13 years old. She fighting a teacher like that.
But it starts at home.
She was 15.
It starts at home, because
she probably slapping the shit out of her mama too.
Yeah, when you have the privilege of talking to your parents any kind of way, you don't respect adults. I see it every day. These kids have little to no respect. I demand mine. and you know,
see,
the world was on edge. What you saying, Sean?
Hold on now, hold on. I think your approach is the correct approach. You demand and you do certain things around your kids. Your kids are not your equal and they're not your friends. And what's happening, we allow them to be our friends, and their friends come over. We want to sit in there with their friends and socialize with their friends. And I think this is part of it. And they think they become just like you, and they don't have to respect you. And, you know, I could never call my mom Ruby. To me, it was very disrespectful. My mom was either mom or mother or whatever, but to do with mom, but not Ruby. It's not respectful. We cannot allow them. Don't say that is her name. That's just an excuse to give you carte blanche. We must do something. If we don't, the white man and some of the Toms going to do something for you. Trust me, they will. When I say that, we got to come together as a community and not just talk about it. If we start planting the seed with whatever, whether the small afternoon tutorial type class to try to educate our young kids ourselves. If we don't do it, we're letting ourselves down. And I'm for that. But we got to start. We can't put it on LeBron James. We can't put it on David Robinson. We know what they might attempting to do. We could do something. We sit back and be loud saying this, to do this. But what are we doing?
That's true.
We're talking. That's do more than talking. That pull together. If it's a class once a week and bring back civics to them. Tell them how the government works, how it mess with you. We can do that once a week. We do this show for 2 hours. And look at that shirt Julius got on and scatter people in the community.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Then we can do that.
Okay, so you finished now because you interrupt this man and went on for 2 minutes. Go ahead, Sean. Yes, you did.
No, I did not.
Sean
have been very disruptive when Sonia was talking, when I was talking. You better get your facts together.
Sean, you were saying, Sean. Sandra, you were supposed to go into the next subject about the wrongful shootings, and you went somewhere else and forgot all about it.
Well, no, I didn't forget about it, but I mean, we getting there.
Okay, going back on, I think, hold on, what Sandra said earlier. All right. Mr. Brown.
You can call me Chuck, buddy. Go ahead.
Okay, Mr. Chuck Brown. You did interrupt me. Threw my whole concentration off. Okay, I was sitting up. I'm like, oh my goodness. But, okay, these kids nowadays, just like I told my daughter, it was very important, this subject, because I told my daughter, if that was her, I would have marched her down to the police department. And she looked at me like I was crazy. I was like, you didn't go to school, because I didn't send you to school to fight the teacher. That wasn't my intentions. I didn't send you to school with your phone. She wanted your phone. You wasn't even supposed to have your phone.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then you attacked her. You went out. That's not a representation of me. So take your behind to jail. Why? Yeah. Because if that was anybody else's child and they came at me like that, then you would have wanted to go out there and fight them, right?
The sad part is you got parents that will defend that child and think that child was right. That child was dead wrong, and that child needs his ass beat.
Yeah. That part.
What Sean say out of everything, the most important thing he stated, he's making his daughter accountable. And that's the form of making accountable. We don't make our kids accountable. We allow them to just slip through the crack and do what they choose to do because we trying to be their friends or we trying to win a popularity contest. You're not supposed to do that. You can be friendly towards them, but you are their parent and you should parent them because you're trying to make them a better citizen. If not, you will end up bailing them out of jail, okay? Because they will go to jail.
I remember now what Mr. Brown interrupted me on. Question, okay, because I've sat back and the generation that we're raising right now has a big argument, and it's a good argument on sir and ma'am. I was raised in the military. I still call my mama ma'am. I still call my father, I still, sir. All my uncles, everything, sir, ma'am. Nowadays, it went from military talk to slave talk now. Now it's nobody want to do that slave talk. I want y'all opinion. I like, because that's part, to me, it's a part of the whole respect, stay in your lane, listen, because that's somebody you forced to call ma'am. So that's somebody you program to respond to. You know what I'm saying? If she was calling that teacher ma'am, it's hard to slap somebody you saying ma'am to. Ma'am? No, because it's like you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah, it is a level of respect, but then it's also hard to, if it has been ingrained in you that you respect people in authority over you, and if you have an issue with what they have said, then you bring that to me,
Parents, right.
And see, that's how it had always been explained to me, that you don't talk back. If you have an issue with the teacher or something that they tell you, you come to me. And that's what I tell my son, and I just don't believe in this new age parenting where you can freely speak your mind, because we're trying to get our children ready for work, in the real world. In the real world, even when you want to freely speak your mind, there's limits to what you can say and who you can say it to. So it needs to be like that in school and school transitions to, church and wherever else, But when you have people that just feel like, she violated her. How you gonna violate a 16-year-old? By asking her, put your phone up or give it here. But you do have these parents. I'm not gonna call them idiots, but they are not learned parents.
Right.
And that's the reason why our communities are the way they are.
Okay. What I'm saying, a viewer would say not every parent. I'm not saying every parent. I'm saying the vast majority, that's what's taking place. When kids come up to me, I'm old enough to be their great-great-granddaddy and say, yeah, no, and talk to me in that
exactly.
Angle. I'm saying there's some due respect. And they say, I don't have to use the slave mentality. Yes, ma'am, and yes, sir. I'm telling you what goes on with me in real life. My grandson, he said to me, I asked him a question, and he handled me so rough. He said yes, and I say, wait a minute, who are you talking to? And he say, Papa, that's the way I was told, or that's the way I respond. I said, no, your Nana and your Papa, you simply say yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am. And right now, my grandson will not address us, nothing but yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am, because I made him responsible. And I say, if any grown-ups you talk to, you can get more with sugar than you can get with dirt. And I'm saying now every parents are doing that, but the vast majority of parents are allowing them to do that, because I experience it every day. I see it and I hear it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Andre, you're going to get to these shootings.
Okay, so y'all know in the last few weeks, 2 weeks, you know, there's been a lot of people just doing indiscriminate shooting. You know, this one boy, he was shot in the head by this 84-year-old man just for walking up on the wrong porch. He went to go and get his twin brothers, but he went to the wrong house. And this man didn't ask any questions. He just shot the boy in the head and then in the hand. And at first, they didn't even lock him up. Because he said he feared for his life. How you gonna fear for your life and you behind closed doors? And you know, the boy never did anything. Nothing but ring your doorbell.
They act like we had the martial law.
Yeah. And then even down here in Houston, there was these girls. They were at HEB, which is a grocery store.
Right.
And they I guess they had a car that was similar to another car. And when the young lady came out of the store, she opened the door of the car, the car that looked similar to her best friend's car. Well, the Mexican guy, she closed the door back. She said she was sorry. She closed the door back. She ran to her friend's car, got into the friend's car. The Mexican guy got out of his car and sprayed them. Shot her like 4 times.
She had on cheerleader outfit too, right?
Yeah. I mean, and then about 5 days ago, there was a basketball that went into this black man's yard.
Correct.
And he's about 24, 25 years old. Basketball went into his yard. He shot at a 6-year-old, her daddy.
He grazed her. He grazed her.
It grazed her. It shot her daddy and grazed the mama. They charged him with 4 counts of attempted murder, which I agree, but I'm thinking, well, what about the 84-year-old that didn't get he shot the boy in the head, and he didn't get charged with attempted murder. He got charged with some type of assault, felony assault, which, I'm still pissed off about that. I'm salty. But the thing is that why, and then there was one in North Carolina where this girl, she turned around in the wrong driveway. And the man shot her from his porch.
But I thought that was in upstate New York. I thought it was
in New York. And
in
killed
New York. Killed her.
Upstate New York.
And I'm trying to figure out what is going on with America. I mean, have we been radicalized?
I bet if you sit back and ask for, you probably, well, either they're not voting or they're Republicans, guaranteed.
Huh?
If either they're not voting or they're Republicans. It almost happened to me this weekend. Like literally, that's everything that you said went through my mind. I was buying an outside patio set, secondhand, and I pulled up, me and my daughter, and I stopped at the front. Instead of rolling all the way up, I stopped by the mailbox. I text, "Hey, I think we're here." They said, "No, across the street in the fenced yard behind you." I was so nervous. I was like, and I explained to my daughter, "Hey, just like that, we could have been on the news."
Exactly.
Because rolling in somebody's yard and made a mistake just like that. You know,
Yep.
It's sad. It's sad. They act like we're at martial law, where it's like, okay, everybody stay indoors, nobody's working. Hey, you're muted.
Percocet. Molly Percocet. Y'all see what kind of trouble I got, right?
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, but I see too. Oh, Lord.
Calm down.
Guess what?
Calm down.
Guess what? And Ramadan over with. So I still ain't got no food today. I just told my daughter I stay in him to eat. But guess what? Who what? Percocet.
Julius. Julius.
Molly and Percocet.
Jill, do you have any Ritalin you can give him some? Because it'll calm me down. He definitely needs some Ritalin real bad.
You know, we have to, you know, I don't feel like everybody should have access to guns. You know, we have more guns in America than we have people.
Yeah,
that's correct.
And there's going to come a time, if we don't put a stop to this. I mean, the cat is already out the bag, but we have to figure out a way to wind it back in if we want America to survive, because America is not a good place to be.
I kind of know how, but it's like, I don't want to put the seat. A lot of it has to do with the military. Okay. A lot of it has to do with the military. I feel like it's the way that they trained us that made us, you know, we got shot at a lot of times before we even returned fire. Why? Because we were afraid to squeeze the trigger. And this is at the enemy of foreign land and everything. All we got is our boys behind our back and knowing that, hey, what we do here stays here. And we were still afraid to pull the trigger.
Well, who you talking about, Sean?
I'm talking about the police.
All these people, all these people weren't soldiers.
Right. I'm saying as far as the way that we do the police, the way that we do, I mean, like we attacking the racism, the way that we, with the guns, even. The guns, I feel like, hey, let everybody have their guns. Let everybody have their guns. But you should walk around, you should only be allowed 3 bullets.
I think the tone we live in, and it goes back even when Donald Trump started to be president. I think you begin to see some of this happening. The Second Amendment, they claim that's the reason why they should have their guns and weapons. Look at the mass shooting among
exactly.
I'm
not losing.
They don't need assault rifles and stuff, but it is there. And I think what they're trying to do is what this Dylan boy did in Charleston, South Carolina, is to try to start some reason a race war or something. That's the impression I'm under, because this man shot this kid ringing the doorbell is just pure hatred. He's saying blacks are bullies, or they gorillas or something, and that he was afraid. There's no excuse. But again, the guy in New York, it just people are just losing it. I don't know exactly what can we do to help that, but to try to control the weapons, the guns. You know, I really don't know an answer.
And that's not going to happen. We are in our last hour now, and we're going to talk because we have a whole lot of opinions that we're going to be going with off of, and we got the doctor here that is going to give us his thoughts. We got Brother Rufus, glad to have you. You and Shagari tuning in and giving y'all thoughts. Riddling with nut juice. Ivan Cohn say with Molly about. At least he's not behind the steering wheel. He just got from behind the steering wheel.
That's right. That's right. I was getting here. I was doing just like that. Perfectly said.
But we do just need to end on the gun, on the weapons and stuff. But stuff. you open up the can of beans or whatever, and you just can't just say we're gonna just cut it off. But in the final now is we saying something do need to be done. Again, if the guns and the weapons are out there now, we can try to put a stop to it, but it is out there now.
Yes, sir.
That is going to be the biggest war right there, trying to stop the guns. Like once you put a ban on assault rifle, going to try to get those assault rifles is going to be a war. It's going to be a war.
Well, I think they're going to grandfather everybody in. They're going to grandfather everybody in. If you already got one, you keep it. They just won't be able to
but it's still more gun. It's still more guns than people.
Yeah.
Sean interrupt me, then you interrupt Sean. But I'm not gonna get into that. You know.
Yeah, we're gonna get on to the next subject.
All right.
Y'all got time to talk for a few minutes. Y'all, this is our Orange Crush. We're gonna give our opinions. I'm gonna show y'all this 4-minute video. Y'all just chill. Want the audience to watch it. And it's not, I meant for my engineer to blow it up, but she just copied it and sent it to me. I needed it to be blown up. So if you watch it out in here, I need you to my editor, my video editor, you need to make it fit the screen. So y'all watch this video.
On Facebook, knock you out on Facebook, ban you for that video.
No, they shouldn't. This is a Facebook video. So it's off of Facebook. So that's where they get it from. Anyway, here it is. And we're gonna go with then we'll have our opinions. Y'all watch this video though.
Hold you the right way while watching the night fade. When you know what he likes and what he might say, and you try to be calm and answer in nice ways. And I can go with you way out the states, no 2 ways, so no page, no cell, so no trace, and you just a phone call away. So all I gotta say is,
what's going on? This motherfucking lady, somebody.
Sicario, the name hold weights, the whole issue. Grown men keep on crying, get more tissues. The way me and this girlie rhyming is so official that I'm taking a trip to pistols. Cause everything peace, let me say in those streets. Little Miami Heat, that's the plan, we'll see. 2 cups, more they enseñando when the sand beats hands. I think I go with you. So tell the station you need a ride, back to you.
name. That's your fucking name.
I just wanted to tell Trace thank you.
It's girl with the fucking name. So, I don't give a fuck if bitch ain't been out.
It's a great morning.
I ain't big. If you're not, I ain't want to get your shit, but I know how you feel. I heard what you was feeling and all that. I'm real because that shit always I can't calm down. Because I can't. I fuck with this girl. I would look out for this girl. I love this girl. But one thing about me, if you my girl, I don't care. I'm gonna put, if you play with your but you gotta understand that. You gotta cut off people who don't reciprocate. And I do. You gotta cut off. You gotta let go. You gotta.
Damn. I'll get my things, say what you tell my friend. We'll fly away if I can go. Contigo, I'll pack my things soon as you say, baby, vamos. We'll fly away like there is no tomorrow. And if I can go, contigo, I'll tell my friend nothing else, nothing else. I'll tell my friend nothing else.
We're going to skip that commercial. We're going to go straight into the talk because, you know, we all got opinions of that. I think, and I'll just go and tell y'all what I feel, then y'all can tell me what you feeling because, you know, and I made, we got a thread where these videos were posted and everybody's showing different videos of things that happened. That was a good video. Though it's videos that was worse than that. I didn't want to show those videos because Facebook probably would do something if you showed those type of videos. It is some cold hard sex going on some of the videos. It is some just some ridiculous stuff going on these videos that you wonder where the hell is these kids' home training is. And our kids do act up. They act up worse than other kids. They do.
And that's what we're talking about now.
So
I said that's what we was talking about prior to.
Yes, sir. Well, let me finish it. Then we'll.
I was just saying. That's all.
And so we you know, you got the girls twerking on top of the car. What the hell for? What the hell are you twerking on top of the car for? Showing your ass like that. Wait. All of them should have been slapped side the head. What's the kids out there? They so drunk, and you could tell half of them ain't 21. They drinking, teenage drinking, or underage drinking, or whatever, and they gyrating it all on each other like they're simulating sexual stuff. You got one guy, he twirling around in the street because he stopped in traffic, and so he go to spin the wheels, lose control of the car, and crash. Then he got 2 guns and dope in the car. What kind of idiotic, stupid stuff is this, though? What he went out there with 2 guns, and marijuana in his car. But I mean, our kids, man, we got to do something. I am all for these kids having fun. A lot of these kids that were in trouble, these weren't, the spring break ain't for you. Your ass ain't in no college. You probably ain't even finished high school, but you're out there causing more trouble than anybody. They taking boxing gloves to the beach. What the hell you got with some boxing gloves on the beach? Go out there and enjoy the day. I mean, it's just, I was just furious at that sort. But I know that we got to do something. It's chaperones that we need to chaperone a whole bunch of these events. We got to become involved. School. The police got to be more involved. You know they coming. And I heard they coming again this week. And Jamal gonna be there. I'm not going. He trying to get me to go. I'm not going.
After seeing that video, I'm going. Because they need a daddy out there. Them sure need a daddy. I'm trying to tell you, them children need a daddy. They need more adult supervision. And I think that, let me tell you, Bikers Weekend don't happen like that. Black Bikers Weekend does not happen like that. You know why?
Correct.
Because you got older black bikers that's out there that, tone that down. Tone that down. Now, it'll get wild, but until the older black bikers get out there. And then they tell them, tone that down, tell them Buffalo Soldiers roll up, or Rare Breed, or, you know what I'm saying? When those guys roll up, it's like, hey, you already know we got to tone it down. But Orange Crush, every adult over the age of 30 is saying, oh no, that's for the young kids. That's for the young kids. If all the young kids are going to the beach, I already told my daughters, don't go to the beach without me. You don't go to the beach without me, because nobody gonna save you from that water like your daddy, your parents. Everybody gonna be concerned about saving their own.
Hey, Jamal behind you. Go ahead, Jamal.
Go ahead, Jamal.
So now, Orange Crush has evolved. People don't realize, okay, you saw Orange Crush in Savannah, but there's an Orange Crush circuit. They were already in Miami. They were in Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater, Savannah. They're going to be at Daytona Beach, and then the last one's going to be in Jacksonville.
Right. I saw that.
So now, what it is, so I'll say that it's not even something local. Julius, what you're saying, Sean, that it ain't even think something local right now. This is almost a regional thing with regards to that. And just to throw something out, now, one of my people did go and tell me that Freaknik was even this weekend in Augusta. So
what?
This is just that this is something that, so it's even larger than a Savannah thing that, again, they have not created a circuit. Because, and I had my nephew, he and I had a conversation. We had wanted to talk about this on Run Tell That, but he couldn't do it. But my thing was, you have 50,000 people here. Imagine if one of them has spent money with a black business in Chatham County. I said, if they had spent that money, just like you got Caucasian business talking about how it was record-setting sales for them. Imagine if I said that y'all are so busy, and I'm not dumping on them. I'm just saying we as collectively, y'all so busy wanting to go tell you're gonna make these people get your money. You don't even think about, why don't you go by the house of prayer and go buy you some chicken from there, buy you a dozen of chicken, right? You fried chicken, and then take it out to the beach. Or and again, like I said, and I don't advocate the use of alcohol, but why don't you go by Josie Shepherd and go buy your alcohol from there, take it out to the beach if that's what y'all gonna be doing. Or why don't you go by two chefs and
daiquiri machines
and do all that, get your gas from that. Here go an opportunity that was absolutely squandered by us, and but it's something that has been discussed for years. And so now we're seeing that now, since they got a circuit, it's in several other cities now. And that, so somebody got to be the ones now to step up and say, hey, we got something to the plate. The fathers got to be there, the mothers got to be there, the community got to be there, and now help people understand. Because again, it is demoralizing. It is basically the plan of the people to destroy us.
Question. The Kappa, because I know that y'all are y'all got your fraternities and sororities and stuff. The Kappa Beach Party, did it ever, you know what I'm saying? Did it, because I know that still goes on and it's a big event down in Texas and all that other stuff. But like the United States knew about the Kappa Beach Party and would travel. Did it ever get, it didn't get as crazy as this, correct?
And Julius is a member of Kappa Alpha Psi. He's a Kappa. Now, the thing that they do go and say that they had only 20 arrests, but they said 2 years ago when they had 36. So some people like going to say, hey, listen, so it wasn't as bad. So with regard to criminal sanctions, but that's good. Just throw it out.
I think what's really sad is that earlier we did talk about what's happening to the young people with no respect and disrespect. Don't think they're going to leave home. They don't respect you there. They didn't respect the teacher. Now all of a sudden you're going to give them some alcohol and you want them to get respect all of a sudden. it was close to, like he said, from 41 to 50,000 people. But the question is, it was not 100% everyone was doing that. It was in pockets of places. And see, the bad apples are causing the good part to get blame. And that's the way it normally is. A so thumb will stick out. That's exactly what's happening. Out of 100%, it was only basically 30% of them doing that, and they pocket the 30%. That was 70% was not doing that. But again, the good suffer along with the bad, if you want to call it that.
But where's the morality in that? My bad, Fannie Lou. You go ahead.
Well, I'm gonna say this. First of all, Orange Crush in Savannah is no different than spring break in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Myrtle Beach. Any place you have college students who are usually, or younger, it's teenagers to 28-year-olds. Their frontal lobes ain't fully developed. They're out there, they're consuming alcohol, they're smoking weed, they're popping pills, and they have no parental guidance, and they have no, they have no structure. When you have no structure, nobody is planning these things. They're just saying, come, and then when you have a media, when you have a city that says, don't come, and then you have the same city that says, don't come, they pay the media, or they tell the media, we need y'all to be here. Because as soon as they start acting up, whether it be 10 people or 100 people start acting up, then we want you to highlight this and play it on repeat, on all, play it on your news channel on repeat and act as if this is the only thing that happened out there. Whereas I bet you the same thing goes on, because I was young when St. Patrick's Day, all of that was the same way. You had white people falling off things, doing stuff that they had no business. You had white women holding up, they flashing for beads and all kind of other stuff. It was just a modern day Mardi Gras. But those things were not highlighted. So don't make it seem as though our children are just the wildebeest that they want you to believe. They're not. They are average college students.
Right. And that's one of the things I was aiming at. The kids wanted to have fun, and I think the vast majority of them was having fun in pockets. It was a certain percentage of them acting that way, but they highlighted that because they want to give that impression that the whole shooting match was like that. And that's the argument I'm making. It was not 100% doing it. It was only about 30 to 35% really doing it. That was me. Go ahead, Julius.
That's too high a number. That's too high a number. It wasn't even 30%. I'd say it's probably under 10% of these kids that were acting up. And they were not acting up, Sandra. They were acting the hell up.
Exactly. You have to have.
We cannot defend. We cannot defend bad behavior.
You have to have something to video.
Hold on, let me finish. These kids were out.
You didn't allow me to finish.
Yeah, I did. You were talking.
You did not. You did not.
You did not. Know when to stop.
Go ahead.
Y'all gotta know when to stop. Y'all cannot talk forever. Okay?
They were out of order.
Make your point and let's move on. Let somebody else talk. Then we get on. But I waited patiently for all y'all to finish. Now I'm back to me. I waited patiently. You couldn't jump me again, Charlie, but I let you. It wasn't your turn. So what I'm saying is we cannot defend them. This was I can't even give a word for it. This was bad behavior, and we cannot reward them by defending them. And no, it was not 30% of them. It was less than 10% of them acting a damn fool like that. And yes, the police got their fault. Yes, the county has its fault. Yes, the city of Tybee has its fault. No traffic control, no police presence. They knew these kids was coming. It's 50,000 of them out there, and they still didn't come out because they wanted the chaos so they could say for later on that this is indefensible. They will not give them a permit for later on.
No food. How you gonna not feed the people? How you gonna have people out there stuck out there on the beach and with nowhere to eat? They were
supposed to do to them. Can't spend. I ain't going to spend my money somewhere I'm not wanted.
And you close down your businesses and all of this, but the same, I challenge every Black person because see, me and my family, we're going out to the beach on Mother's Day. But I promise you, I wouldn't buy a cup of water out of any of those places because you don't close down for our children, but then you'll open up for the Pirates Festival and all of these other raunchy, these raunchy white folk. You stay open for them, and they cause just as much chaos on the beach. They leave just as much bottles, trash, everything, but you do not highlight it.
Is that not the same mentality as we don't want to serve you?
Exactly.
We don't want to serve your kind. We don't want to serve. Is that not the same thing? Closing your business because you know a bunch of my kind is coming down. I don't want to serve. I don't care about your money. That's how much I hate your kind. I don't care about the money that I know you're going to bring.
Yes.
Any one of them businesses that closed, I'm talking the Pizza Huts, the doggone Papa John's, those franchises, we need to know. If they close down this weekend on Tybee, and we need to blast them nationwide and let them know, like literally, it's about time we start making a doggone stamp or something like a black stamp of approval.
Yes.
Because we wasted a lot of money.
Yep. I mean, you're definitely right. If you do not support, if you don't support us, we won't support you. And, you can say what you want to say, but those kids, they deserve, if that beach is an open beach and it is a public beach, they have the right to get a permit to use it the same way the Pirates Festival or any other festival or function would have to use it. And that's on period.
Now look at if I pay your taxes, if I pay taxes, you pay taxes. The only difference is the color of our skin. That's why we
At the end of the day, I don't, spite of what he might have said about 10%, it was closer to 25 to 30%. There was downtown Savannah. There was all over. I don't go out there, but I do go scout when I need to scout. And I'm saying that segment is causing the problem. But we still are dealing with 75% of the kids out there, what we was talking about earlier, have no respect for their parents, no respect for the teachers. Now all of a sudden, they're gonna have respect for outside? That's not going to happen. It begin at home. We have to do something about it. We have to do something about it at home to tell your kids, you have to be accountable. You have to be responsible. We can't be their friends. Oh, we are trying to be their friends because I see it. And grandmothers, children are raising children. That's part of the problem. And they took health out of school. They don't know how to take care of themselves. Trust me, just simple stuff.
And then in reference to the dumb boy that was out there on Highway 80 doing donuts, that is a calling card, even though, there were only 18 arrests this year, down from 36 in past years. So they did not highlight that, even though the kids were, they were twerking. So what? That's their immorality. But it's no different from all of y'all that's gonna be hiding from the documentary on what is it? Freaknik in the next couple of months.
Yeah.
Because some things was going on back in 1994 that y'all was taking part in.
Yeah.
So trust and believe that I would, so they were behind, y'all was doing the same thing, but we just didn't have social media back there highlighting this, what you were doing, because if we did, all we had was Polaroids and we got receipts.
I don't know how true it is. But Myrtle Beach, even the biker weekend, a while back, they closed down the businesses when the black bikers came in. Yes. All the stores in the shop closed down. Yeah. So that's not just a far reach on Tybee. That happened to the black businesses out there in Myrtle Beach. No. I had buddies of mine who have a motorcycle. They were saying that when the white bikers had their little convention, whatever, every business was open in Myrtle Beach. Mm-hmm. They said when the black bikers came, over 90% of the shops was closed. I don't know if you was aware of that or not, Mr. Hall, since you know percentage so well.
Yeah, again,
you attacking me?
We should not.
You're damn right. I'm attacking you.
We should not want to spend our monies in businesses that don't want us.
That's correct.
Exactly.
However,
and you know what the Mayor Tybee say? The Mayor Tybee say she raised her hand and she say it was her fault that she did not have enough policemen and stuff to come out. She did not believe that many people was going to show. And she took full responsibility of letting that happen. But she had no reason. It had nothing to do with the fact that the stores closed, because there were over 50% of the stores was closed down. All the convenience stores was basically closed down. Mr. Percentage Man, were you aware of that?
I don't know
who want to get on.
I don't know who that is. say they want to get on. Delta.
Does he want to get on the show? He must have something to say.
but my thought is that, you know, if these businesses, if everybody would sit down together the same way they do for St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day does not just happen. You know, there is a consecrated effort, a concentrated effort to have St. Patrick's Day. From how we gonna line up, where all the where the police are gonna stage, where this is gonna be, the stores is gonna be open. Everything is planned, you know, so that things already. You know, even when things do get a little bit out of hand, it's not as bad, you know, because people will be people. And we host people. This is the hostess city. So we host millions of people when we do have events. And you mean to tell me that we can't host 50,000 people? When we host 3-point-whatever million people on any given St. Patrick's weekend? Come on now. Stop it. You know, but if they would sit down together and get these things planned, we wouldn't be having all of this. But this is what they want to happen.
But you don't matter. I'm going to try it one more time. You don't matter. Do you realize what I just said? You don't matter. We as Black parent and Black grandparent, we need to step up to the plate, and we need to put in a more help to do what we need to do. The same thing you sort of saying, and be out there to make them a little bit accountable. Say, let's have a good time. Don't do that, but you can't stop everyone. But you can still be, your presence can be there. That's my suggestion.
Yeah. And I think that the police, being a big police presence, you wouldn't have had as much stuff going on. If you
that's true.
If it was more calculated and planned for, it needs to be a paid event. When people come do shit for free, they tend to act up. Black, white, no matter who they is.
They're not invested.
A paid event is what they need to have. A paid event. Somebody, if they're going to organize it the way that Jamal's saying, it's a circuit now, and there are all these beaches, then it need to find somewhere where they can promote it and get paid off of it. Because that will keep some of that element out of it.
How much was the hotel rooms down there this weekend? Because see, during Black Bikers weekend, you have to get your room like in January, and you're paying about $300 and some change for your room in January for that weekend. Orange Crush, if their rooms are $79 still, you know what I'm saying?
I doubt there's not a room down in Tybee that costs $79. I put on no day. No. You know, so that's that part. But the thing is that if they, I don't know how they would make it a paid event, because that is a free road.
It's a
toll at the bridge.
It's a state. It's a state beach. But only thing I can say, we need to come up with a plan of action. And we talking about, you know, what took place and everything. And again, we need to, as a community of Black people, we need to get together and come up with a plan of action. See, because Orange Crush is going to happen.
Exactly.
Yeah, it will happen.
Yeah.
And we need to see. Maybe we can talk to our kids, our young kids who are 18, 19, freshmen in college. Say, James, please, Korean, don't go and act up like that, because we'll be watching you. Old song from the Policeman, every move you make, every step you take, we'll be watching you. And I'm just saying, I don't know. I'm getting too old for this. I'll be 75 in a few years, okay?
I would venture to say, Mr. Brown, before Jamal go, because Jamal has his hand up. Before you go, Jamal, I would venture to say this. That the ones that were doing the boxing and the fight, the girls that was doing the fight, the girls that we saw on video acting the fool and going around, and the girls that were twerking, I guarantee you, none of them was in damn college. None of them.
None of them.
Not
one. Not one. You know, I'll take.
Which goes back to my solution to everything. To fixing it all. We can fix it all. Gun violence, everything. I already told y'all. Military.
Oh,
we are letting our kids go too soon.
Oh, you saying
we basically telling them at 18 either find a job or get out of my house, but you got to leave here.
So
and where they going if they don't have an education, if they don't have a thing, they're going either to rob or sell drugs or a thing. Send their ass in the military.
So you say everyone should do 2 years of military.
Everybody should do at least 2 years.
You meant to say something. You held your hand up behind Julius before he spoke. Go ahead.
I was going to say this to all those who are looking at our Black media right now, that the conversation that has been being had right now by Sandra McKeithen, Uncle Sean, Charlie Brown, Julius Hall, and when they're all been saying, Charlie Brown said, we got to get together. If you elect Keisha Gibson Carter, because Keisha Gibson Carter has already put a plan in place, what she wants to see being done with regards to Orange Crush. So Keisha Gibson Carter, letting all y'all know it, Keisha Gibson Carter, if you elect her as mayor of Savannah, she has already posited and said, because I had a conversation with them about this, her team, and they said, we plan on, you elect us to office, we're going to pull everybody together, county and municipalities and the state, to now address this, so we'll be responsible. I'll just let you know, if you elect Keisha Gibson Carter, I'm not saying this is not on behalf of our Black media. This is Jamal Toure telling you information right now on this day right here.
I thank you.
Lord. What happened, Charlie?
I thank you. I heard him. I thank you. I thank you for sharing that announcement. I consider it as a PSA for the viewing audience who wanted to take it in. But again, it's his opinion, and it's a good opinion. And thank you so much for sharing that.
Bang must be didn't give him no watermelon or something, Charlie.
He didn't split the watermelon with him.
I'm gonna try one more time. That is a PSA, and it's a good PSA. Again, viewing audience, thank you for sharing that with me, Jamal. You have a pleasant night. Go ahead, Julius, with the show.
That's why it was cold today.
Yeah, I can't believe it. I just witnessed something that I didn't think I was gonna witness the whole until November.
That's why, but
the last day at that.
He's trying to kill me, Julius. I know he's trying to kill me because I told him how old I am. My heart almost stopped beating a minute ago. I just want you to know that.
Well, Charlie, answer this one, Charlie, you and Jamal. Ivan said Orange Crush will happen. The challenge is finding who the organizers are. It needs to be organized. It does. And then Lawrence Bunny Bryant, yes, everyone has a valid opinion. I would like to hear from Dr. Jamal on what happened on the beach. What happened on the beach? He was there.
What is your old self doing there?
He was there.
First of all, you know,
he went with his students.
Right, like Uncle Sean said, you need to have some of us out there in that environment.
Thank you.
To my big brother, Lawrence Bunny Bryant, what happened? It was just I have to go and say it was debauchery, but not debauchery by everybody, but debauchery by, as Julius Hall has said, by a small segment. But that small segment now becomes what everybody see. And in fact, I'll share this with you all too, that there are some parents that I know also who had their children go out there, local children go out there, and their children came back, and guess what the children said? People are doing too much. People, high school students, high school teenagers were now able to look at that, and they saw the depth that we had sank. Some of us, not all of us, they had saw the depths of that. And so that's why I'm going to say, because again, I'm going to say, throw it out there, you know, with the LB3 Foundation, what they do with regard to trying to touch, and like Frederick Douglass said, to fix up strong children until they become strong men and women, that the work they're doing, that I can go and say that those parents who had kids go out there, who did not get involved in, and who are able now to assess and say, listen, they were doing too much. They saw how the values went astray with some people. And so, yeah, we do need to step up, like Uncle Sean said, we need to step up there. Charlie Brown, we need to step up there. We need to be involved with the gods, and there are producers who are out there. And see, Tabby had been trying to do that. Now, I got to throw it out there. Tabby had been trying to do that, but certain people will not. Some are going to say, which I had some conversations with some of them years ago, that it was about the insurance issues, other things like that. So, yeah, we need to be stepping up to the plate. More of us need to be out there. And so just to throw it out there, Keisha Gibson Carter, that's what they also did too, to go out there because they want to be there as a beacon of light and a beacon of safety for some of our people. And that's what we got to do in environments like that.
And whoever's organizing it, they need to just get with some responsible people. And if when Keisha's mayor for next year, then it will be going off in a different way because she can get the people, even the volunteers, to organize so she can have those adult chaperones. Kids are not going to act a fool when they see people who are policing them. Go have fun, but don't act a fool. Go have fun, but don't embarrass us. You know, that was embarrassing. And Sandra, it wasn't like I worked 10 years of St. Patrick's Day. I used to hate it. But I have never seen this kind of debauchery. It was crazy. And although it's only a few of them, and these kids, like I said, were not the ones attending college. Some people went out there to have a good time, to enjoy themselves. Some people went for chaos. Some people went, who the hell went out there and started a fight? How you found somebody out there you wanted to fight? What happened there? You found somebody you wanted to fight. Really? The girls and the boys. And one girl, she started it and they beat her to a pulp.
Well, Julia, you know, alcohol make your inhibition run wild. And that's what took place when they got some alcohol. Some of their brain cells cannot handle it, and smoking them woolies or blunt, whatever you call it, a mixture of that combination. I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm just shooting at it. A mixture of that combination caused them to react that way, because alcohol have a tendency to make you really think you all that and some more. And you saw that in the young lady holding a glass, walking with it. I don't know what she had, but again, with more grown-ups just being in the area, it will probably help a little bit. But again, it began at home. We got to let our kids say, you got to be more responsible, and we cannot hold them irresponsible. We cannot agree with our kids when a teacher sent a report home and you turn to your mama and say, that teacher is lying, and your mama just allow you to say that, your mama need to go get the facts. And some mamas and daddies don't even get the fact. Whatever little Jimmy John or little Kareem say, it's go. It's good to go. And it's wrong. We are wrong as parents. We are allowing this to happen. So now it have come home to roost. And social media, life imitate art. And you see it every day now.
Yeah. And,
they say art. I mean that art. They say the Never mind. My bad. I didn't want to cut you off, anyway. And it just go ahead.
Oh no, you don't have to worry about cutting me off because you are
No,
part
I
of the
said
problem.
Fannie Lou.
Oh, but you are part of the problem we have because you do a lot of talking and do nothing about it but stand midway and hide behind the screen. Give me a break, Sean.
You know, but at the end of the day, you know, I remember when our parents, before we went anywhere, I mean, even once we became kind of adults or when we were like teens, our parents gave us the talk, you know, and said, don't be, you know, told us all the do's and don'ts while we were out, you know, and maybe nobody's having the talk anymore with, you know, I mean, and there needs to be extensive the talks these days because, you know, you need to tell your kids, don't get caught on camera doing things because see, that will follow you into your future. If they put you on social media, that can't, you know, that's going to follow you throughout.
You can still be president. Yeah, you can still be president. But you know, those kids don't listen these days. They do not listen. Now, and I'm telling you, they do not. Believe me, I'm going through it now. I got two that don't listen to nothing. Now, Jamal, I need you to talk about this here.
Okay, I'll do something. One of the producers for Our Black Media, she was out there on the beach. I had to check on them like several times. A couple of them, couple college students, I had to check on them. Oh my God. We have one of the producers on the phone right now.
It ain't Giovanna. I know it wasn't Giovanna because Giovanna supposed to be in Atlanta somewhere doing something. So I know Giovanna wasn't on the beach.
Hey, Giovanna.
Oh, that's Giovanna? You was on the beach? Talking about no. Talking about no. She was on the beach. That's one of our engineers there. And she's one of our engineers. She was on the beach. Yeah. How about Jamal? What we want Jamal to answer real quick is this right here. What happened with Mr. Bauer shooting the kids in the back? Who? The white guy that shot the kids.
I missed
it. He shot a girl in the back.
He shot into the car and shot the girl in the back.
Oh,
He
no.
was arrested.
Okay.
He charged him with 6 counts.
That happened right now.
They say that it was road rage.
Road rage, because he was stuck in traffic and he was mad because there was
yeah.
too many of them.
And now with that, again, he shot. That's the shooting that occurs. So with regards to that, and that has been kind of like, you know,
swept up under the rug.
And so, but it is road rage, and that road rage tied to and connected, I will go and say, is me saying this, tied to racism. Road rage and racism involved. We may try to go and dismiss it, but that's just like with Ralph Yarl, what happened with him, that again, that you are that angered that you now go and shoot someone. So, and that happened out there. And so, and again, people in the community should be up in arms about that also, just like with regards to Giovanna being on the beach. And also and stuff like that. Because it's not just Giovanna, it was several others of them. It was a whole horde of them that came from Statesboro that went there, whole horde of them from the Armstrong campus of Georgia Southern who went there. So
it was several people. I was buying gas on Saturday, and several people came out of Midway. And that's what I was saying. Sean is a part of it. He got to control those little bit of people in Midway, and he's not doing that. And he do a lot of talking, but he's not doing anything with them.
Yeah.
Hey.
I can see all the smoke in his house. He look and say he's gonna have to call the fire department. All that smoke in his house.
Well, I mean, we've been saying it for a long time that, you know, that it needs to be more organized, but, you know, talk is nothing, you know, so.
I'm gonna say this and hear me out. Tybee don't really control Savannah Beach. The beach is state, and that's why you see Georgia State Patrol. She should have had more Georgia State Patrol on the beach, and it would have been cut down big time. I'm letting you know that. Tybee do not control Savannah Beach. That's the name of the beach. It's a state beach, and that's why Georgia State Patrol always be parked out at the beach, because it's run by the state. Y'all wasn't aware of that, right, Sean?
I didn't. I thought the Tybee Island Beach was Tybee Island.
No.
Okay.
Savannah is run by the state of Georgia. If you ever go to the beach, it's always Georgia State Patrol park out at the beach. And that's why they be there, because it's a state beach.
Okay.
Yeah, and the governor had to send
more troops. Right.
More.
Well, that's what they do for Bikers Weekend. That it's a statewide thing. They literally, like, all the cops that's off for that weekend, they all get for that weekend. They go down there for Memorial Day weekend, overtime,
Julius.
and all that other stuff.
Julius.
Yes, sir.
All the mayor of Tybee had to do is let the governor know she needed at least, 20 or 30 state patrol to be down there on the beach. She underestimated the amount of people who was going to show. She thought it was going to be 10 or 15,000 people or less. It was over 12,000 cars. If you do 3 person to the car, that's 36,000 people right there.
Yeah. And then
some of the producers said that they thought they had only expected 10,000. Some of the producers, organizers said that they had thought it was going to be 10,000. Now, at least some didn't put out their public.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Some of the producers or organizers said they only expected 10,000. That's what, at least publicly, that's what they had put out. They expected only 10,000.
10,000 a lot, to go out to that beach. I go out there. I don't even go out there on the weekends, because if you go out there, you're going to get stuck in traffic.
Right.
That's a little old 2-lane highway going out to the beach. And then you got to find a parking space. They charging you $8 for 2 hours now. Who the hell want to go to the beach out there? You go out there when you can. Us older people, we go out there later on. I can't go in the daytime. I can't go out there when it's a party. So Jamal, they should have had shuttles. All this thing could have been planned and done right. And I'm sure that when Keisha Gibson Carter's mayor, she will work with the mayor of Tybee and make sure, and the county representatives and the state representatives, and the next one will be much, much better than this, because we're not going to let Tybee just tell those kids they can't come out there. But we want to make sure that we get those bad elements out of there from causing trouble too. What the hell you go to the beach for? To start a fight? What you take boxes and gloves out there to the beach for? What reason? You ain't got nothing else to think about doing. Go play some spades or some dominoes or something.
All them women out there, you want?
Yeah, exactly.
Play big whist. Go play some big whist. Big whist.
Yeah. At the end, the new leadership will talk to them and not talk at them, and that has been happening under the old leadership. And I'm happy to have the new leadership will talk to the young people and not at them. That's a difference.
Yep. And this Willie Shields said a young lady from Glenn County who attended Orange Crush was shot by her boyfriend when she got back to Brunswick.
Wow.
You can't go there. You better have permission. Somebody got to tell you can go.
A girl came through Midway. That man sitting there is the main problem why we having so much problem in that part of the country.
Okay. Yeah, she had to come through Midway. She did pass my little exit.
Who takes an assault rifle out to the beach? Man, I tell you, and it's crazy. And that guy got out of his car. I guess he was mad because he couldn't get home, and he's stuck in traffic for 3 or 4 hours. The kids out there twerking on top of the car. He get mad. instead of getting glad.
And start popping. Sending rounds down range.
See where your mind
going
going
at? Get glad. And
You
then
see
he'll
where your
shoot.
mind-
I'm sure they popped off at the mouth with him. And that don't come, you can't shoot nobody for popping off at the mouth with you. They don't touch you. You can't shoot them people. He got charged with 6 counts. You know, and
They
he
were
need to be in
beating up
jail.
one lady now. They were beating up one, looked like they were beating up a white lady or something on the beach. Nobody said nothing about that. She was trying to leave, and somebody keeps sucker punching her on the video.
Looked like a dude punched her in the face too.
It was a lot of craziness going on out there.
A dude.
The videos, the bad
punched her in the
videos.
face.
Lord have mercy, the bad videos, y'all.
You gotta show me the bad one when you see me the next time.
Yeah, say one girl was out there spreading herpes on purpose.
Really?
Giving all the guys sex. You know, so why would you go to the beach without a rubber anyway? I mean, I'm just saying.
Oh,
You know,
Julius, you have to realize I'm a deacon, and
Disgusting.
deacons don't talk like that. All right.
Deacon had a boat out there.
who goes to the beach?
Watching from the beach.
Who goes to the
Watching
beach
from
to
the
have
beach.
unprotected sex? What the hell these kids
Who
think
goes
about?
anywhere and have unprotected sex? What y'all got going on here?
Huh?
Anyway, okay.
Oh man, making noise in the middle of the road. Yeah, Willie, that guy, he spun out, hit 2 cars, and then left on the chase with the police and wrecked. And then he in jail. He got 2 guns in the car. One of the guns stolen, and he got some drugs on. What the hell was he thinking? What these kids don't think. They don't think that the police matter. They don't think that the laws matter. Believe me, I know. I talk to these kids. I mentor a bunch of them.
I know.
You know, and they don't think about none of that. None of that don't matter. They don't care about you getting in trouble. They don't care about nothing.
Joey, it was over 10, 12, 15 cars doing what he was doing. It was more than that. He wasn't the only one spinning. He the only one it got away from him. It was like having a contest up and down Highway 80.
My question was, how was he gonna get away in that traffic? Dumbo.
Exactly.
I mean,
without killing
everything about that was dumb. And if I was his mama, he couldn't make a phone call to me.
No, they found dope and stuff in the car. That one wasn't controlling him. It wasn't him. It was the stuff he was taking.
Hey, Charlie said if she was his mama, he couldn't be able to take a phone call. Sandra, this boy got drugs in the car. He got his own car, and he got 2 guns, and one of them stolen. What mama he listening to?
With no, because he was going to call his mama to get him out.
Oh,
that's they always they find their parents when it's time to get out.
So, let Jamal go before we get out of here. We got to go.
I was just going to share this. This is for Charlie Brown. Charlie Brown. Clarence Thomas is also from Midway. Just to let you know, his people are also from Midway. I just want to share that with you. Yeah, they got property down in Midway. They own property. Part of a family dispute, but they own property. I want to let you, he's also connected to Midway.
That's a Macintosh.
I'm glad you share that. See what's important? That man right there. This show was on it. More things happened since he been here. I just want to thank you. All right.
Hey, and then he down there with Lewis, Charlie. He down there with Lewis.
That's the newspaper man. That's the newspaper man. Circulation 10. I love you guys.
We had a great discussion. We'll see y'all next Wednesday. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow. Are you doing Ebony Sports Reports tomorrow? Okay, here's the book. Here's the book that my wife found, Stony the Road. And
okay.
We're gonna y'all get it by Henry Louis Gates Jr. And Henry can write, y'all. If y'all ever read anything, he's one of our great scholars. And I got a lot of reading. You know, you don't read this stuff unless you can control yourself.
He do that genealogy things on people. He traced their history back.
Oh, okay.
Genealogy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Sean.
Okay, so we are going to be gone. Don't forget to tune in. You say you're doing Ebony's Supposed to tomorrow? Oh, we running the rerun. We're back. Y'all just know that we're back. Y'all look for all our shows to be live in the next couple of weeks. Everybody will be back. Everybody will be doing their thing. Look for the Watchdogs. I hope this Saturday if we ain't doing nothing. And y'all tune in, share. Our magazines are out. We're going to have a special Mother's Day edition. Y'all get ready for everything that's coming. Share. We love you, Savannah. We love you, Chatham County. Good night, everybody.
Hello,
Bye, y'all.
Savannah.
I like that.